This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Good morning, true seekers and true crime junkies. Welcome back to another episode of Hit the Road Jack, Finding the Zodiac. I'd like to welcome Nolan Del Campo to the show this morning. Good morning, everybody. Again with the memo, I'm wearing baby blue too, albeit not tie-dye. I certainly hope that Lindsay is listening today, or if not, going to be on here at some point with us as well. We're going to listen to the law enforcement audio files again. But of course, I always like to start with a bit of trash and garbage from research and laundry. So we're going to head over to the PowerPoint presentation, and just saw this come across the news feed yesterday on my phone and just literally thought, what the F? Anyways, it starts out, FBI seizes former Congressman Eric Swalwell's devices and searches his home. 5 hours ago. Yeah. Do you know who this is?
Yeah. He resigned recently because he was actually one of the front runners for governor of California. And there was a controversy over sexual harassment.
Well, we're going to read this article, and I did catch the whole solution
at first, and staying in office and still running for governor.
Okay, your audio is really bad right now, Nolan. There's Lindsay, Matt.
Okay, we're back. Okay, I was out for a second. Okay, so
yes, you were.
So he resigned, and he gave up the race for governor.
Correct. And you're still cutting in and out. I don't know if you're going to continue having problems or not, but so yes, that was one of the things that I picked up from the article. So I'm going to read the article for everybody, and then we can discuss thoughts. But it says 5 hours ago, the FBI stopped former U.S. Congressman Eric Swalwell in an airport. Okay, let's not hello me. Go out and come back in. You're having a problem with your computer. Are you there, Lindsay? Okay, well, we'll continue reading this. The FBI stopped former U.S.
Sorry,
Congressman
I had it on mute. I'm sorry. As I was saying, can you hear me?
This is like a circus. Yes, I can totally hear you now.
Okay, perfect. It usually like automatically unmutes, so I'm like, that's why I was like, huh? Maybe it's the whole thing is messing up. Okay.
They don't want me to do what I'm going to do today. That's all.
Yeah. Right.
So we're talking about this Congressman Eric Swalwell. Have you heard of him?
I don't think so, actually.
All right. So let me read this.
Familiar.
Let me read this article and then we'll powwow about it. The FBI stopped former U.S. Congressman Eric Swalwell in an airport and seized his electronic devices while also raiding his home. Let's see. In Washington, D.C. this weekend, as part of a federal investigation into sexual misconduct allegations against him. After the allegations surfaced earlier this year, Swalwell dropped out of California governor's race, where he was in the lead, and gave up his seat in the House of Representatives. He is also under criminal investigation by Manhattan District Attorney's Office and Los Angeles Sheriff's Department for accusations of rape and sexual assault. Swalwell has in the past denied the allegations, and his attorney has called them fabricated. The BBC has reached out to him for comment. These accusations are false, fabricated, and deeply offensive, a calculated and transparent political hit job, his attorney Sarah Azari said around the time they were first reported. Federal agents retrieved Swalwell's devices and searched his home while executing a search warrant, according to the BBC's U.S. media partner, CBS News. Swalwell, 45, has faced allegations from multiple women, including that he raped one victim while she was too intoxicated to respond, and that he sent women unsolicited nude photographs. A high-profile Democrat, often seen on cable news criticizing President Trump, Swalwell resigned from Congress and ended his bid for California governor after the reports emerged and members of the House pushed to remove him. The House Ethics Committee launched an investigation that ended once Swalwell was no longer a member of Congress. The White House released the classified documents from a separate FBI investigation Monday that revealed details of his alleged relationship with a suspected spy from China over a decade ago.
Wow.
Details regarding his 2015 relationship with Christine Fang were already known, and Swalwell never faced any related charges. Multiple U.S. media outlets, including CBS News, were told that FBI Director Kash Patel was behind a push to release the files from that investigation. So, very interesting. First off, I didn't even know this man was running for governor. Yeah, but that makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
He was the leading candidate.
Was he on the Republican side?
No, Democrat.
No, he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because he stopped running, thing is, if you're innocent and you're trying to say, hey, I'm innocent, then why do you drop out of the race?
Exactly. Bingo.
Yeah. So,
and then what?
But my point is, because he dropped out, that allowed Becerra to gain a ton of momentum, and he ended up getting, in the runoff. In fact, Becerra's favorite down.
And they say that he's no longer a member of Congress. Why would you leave Congress if you're innocent too?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Now let me just let me tell you what I picked out of that. So we have China in the situation brought up, and they always try to bring up China whenever there's really not a serious indication to me that we have anything serious going on with China. But they love to bring China up for distraction and to make us look at China rather than Israel always. Second is Kash Patel was brought up, and it obviously, he went after him. He wanted him released. Another distraction. We're going to go after this guy, but we're not going to, mess with the Epstein files anymore. We're done with that,
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? That's literally what I got out of it.
This man is obviously being rushed to charges faster than Epstein was himself. And we still haven't seen one indictment in regards to the people that Epstein serviced. So I was a little shocked over it. But the other side of that said, what are our Democrats up to?
They've been very quiet lately, haven't they?
I'm assuming if the front runner just got slam dunked out of the freaking, running, that what would they have to say? But this is who they were promoting. And I get it that they keep saying alleged and they keep saying, but you've got, I didn't finish off this at the end of this article. It says another woman accuses Swalwell of rape, saying he drugged her in 2018. Eric Swalwell quits California governor race amid sexual misconduct claims, and Eric Swalwell to resign from Congress after sexual misconduct claims. Again, that takes us back to why? Why wouldn't you fight this if you were innocent?
Right.
That has to be a collective political move on his behalf, being instructed by others to take a step aside. Lest they, I guess, face some type of retribution. Either way, this is our
Well, you know how the system is. It's all controlled. Like you do, as I say, you can be here, but you can't be there because you have this, and then this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to plead guilty. Like it's literally like a process.
Well, how about the last representative that we were talking about that committed medical or fraud during COVID using her family's medical business?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on inside our Congress? Is this literally, government, what did I say that was? Government gangsters? You guys just run amok
Yeah, I think like if you have something in your background, they can use it against you, and if you don't comply to what they want you to do, then well, guess what? This is what's coming for you.
Yeah, no, they make or break you. I've always said that. They can make or break you. And people think I'm crazy sometimes when I see it. I can see it in their face when I say the media or the government and politicians, they can be made or broken by the
Mm-hmm.
system because
Yep.
it is higher than all of them. It is
Yep.
more than they are the puppets of our society. But they're also these gangsters that they're talking about that are doing some nefarious things. And why are these people allowed to run for anything? Why isn't a full background check done to begin with?
Yeah.
Let's see what's in there before we put him into office and allow him to continue to use his power and abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't even understand.
Well, it's an easy way to use them. It's a very easy way to use them and get them, and it's a very good candidate to use for whatever they want that candidate to do, because they have that
Right.
blackmail. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we were down to number 8 on History Channel's website about who is and who isn't the Zodiac. And if you guys remember correctly, when they spoke about Jack, their reasoning for stating that he was excluded as a possible suspect of the Zodiac is because the law enforcement didn't find anything credible in his evidence. So we're going to be listening to law enforcement audios again today just to see how these people are behaving, and we'll talk about those once I finish this last couple slides. This number 8 suspect, Donald Lee Bujoke. Why suspected? The hooded man who stabbed the couple at Lake Berryessa said he just escaped from a prison in Montana, according to Brian Hartnell, who survived the attack. Researcher Kevin Robert Brooks developed a lengthy circumstantial case implicating Donald Lee Bujoke, who was released in 1968 from Montana's Deer Lodge Penitentiary after serving 11 years of a life sentence for killing a sheriff's deputy. According to Brooks, fellow inmates said Bujoke had talked about killing people to make them slaves in the afterlife, as mentioned in a Zodiac letter. Brooks claimed the Halloween card sent to reporter Paul Avery depicted harsh conditions at the prison and that Boo on the inside referenced Bujoke's name. Bujoke had been discharged from the Army for mental health reasons. Brooks alleged that markings on some Zodiac envelopes spell out Zodiac is a veteran with 4F. Brooks also speculated that the Zodiac signature cross circle symbol was inspired by the helicopter landing pad at Fort Ord, California, where Bujoke had been stationed. Why he was ruled out? Bujoke's fingerprints did not match those believed to be the Zodiac's. How can they make this statement when they try to claim they're not even sure they have the Zodiac's fingerprints? I get so confused with the rhetoric.
They can't be sure they have the Zodiac's fingerprints. They don't know whose fingerprints they have, and they're most likely not the Zodiac's. He's very careful about it.
Yeah, he took great painstaking lengths to cover those fingers. So anyways, let's see here. A park ranger at Lake Berryessa claimed Hartnell said the prison was in Colorado, not Montana. Bujoke was released just 3 days before the Zodiac's Lake Herman Road killings, and some researchers think he would have had difficulty traveling across 3 states in that time. Bujoke was incarcerated during the Bates murder and other early killings that may have been the Zodiac's. He died in 1993. So again, they bring out some very, very good points. These are some of the things that I look for when somebody calls me with a potential suspect. Bottom line is I always want to see the handwriting. And of course, the time frame has to match before I'm even going to engage and give my services for free to help somebody else move on, because I know that the handwriting is jacked. So I thought that this was interesting that they picked out some of the things he couldn't have been responsible for, which we know were executed by the Zodiac. So that pretty much rules this individual out. So they may have this one correct. But I thought it was interesting. Isn't 4F or what is the is it 4H? Which one's the farm? What is 4F?
That's 4H. That's 4H.
Okay. I giggled when I read 4F. I'm like, what? Was he farming pigs now?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what 4F is? A veteran with 4F.
Huh. I'll have to write that one down.
Right? All right. So here is a list of the Amerithrax committee members I faxed. What's that?
One quick comment question on the suspect, quote unquote suspect. Okay, so he was stationed at Fort Ord in California. Then he ends up in Montana and commits whatever crimes that get him incarcerated or institutionalized, shall we say. And then he comes back to California, and they have documentation of all that?
No, they're saying it was very hard for him to have, it said, some researchers think he would have had difficulty traveling across 3 states in 3 days because he was released 3 days before the Lake Herman Road killings.
And if he wasn't around, if he was incarcerated during Joe Bates, I think that would be almost enough to rule him out in my book.
Yeah, so I think History Channel got it right on this one, obviously, but not on Jack. I mean, Jack, that was just complete crap.
They had to get some right, you know. They had to get a little bit of it right.
Yeah, but they didn't get any of it right in Jack's case. They literally just downplayed it. They gave more reasoning as to Bajoc being a possibility, talking about his military background and stuff. They didn't even mention Jack's military background, association with the Air Force. They left so much out that they actually patronized and gave to their other suspects as possibilities for suspects. It's mind-boggling, but it's going to fit right in and tie right in with the audios that we're going to hear. So this here is a list of the Amerithrax committee members I faxed on March 9th and 10th of 2010 in no particular order, but I do have the fax report and the phone bill to support this, but I faxed every single one of these individuals that were on the Amerithrax committee over the 9/11 event, 9/11, 9/18 events, the mailing of the anthrax letters. And not one response.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. And to not hear anything, nothing, not a boo, not a peep. And Edmund G. Brown, California Attorney General, was in there.
Oh my God.
It seems like you would get something like, I'm sorry, we can't comment or something.
Let's see. To top it off, Dennis Kaufman walked the evidence on Jack W. Tarrance Jr. right through the doors of the FBI in 2000 and placed DNA evidence in the FBI's and San Francisco Police Department's hand. It took 2 years for the SFPD to confirm that they tested it, but the FBI says that SFPD pulled the DNA from the lip of the envelope and the stamps, rendering it useless. And that's where we're going to get into some of these other law enforcement audios so that you can hear what was going on and taking place and how SFPD was basically fumbling Dennis around. There's links to other SFPD testing issues. I know that Gerald Brown also had to investigate SFPD's lab because there was a person that was busted for falsifying tests and I think swapping out drugs so that they could use them, probably, replacing them with baby powder or whatever it is that a person would do to do that. Very, very big story that hit, looks like in 2010. So at the same time, we're trying to figure out, what's going on with the DNA. Why would it have been pooled? Why did they come up with 2 sources? And then we hear all of this about SFPD, who was supposed to have been the persons or the entities that was doing this testing on Jack. Attorney General Brown has been placed in charge of cleaning up the SFPD with Chief George Gascon, who came from Arizona. So here we have another Arizona reference. So, I mean, we had Chris Pickle, we had Stephen Dewhurst. Didn't you say there was somebody else in, Lindsay, in Arizona?
No, I think that
she's just on mute again. Anyways, due to the testing of drug and DNA departments being tampered with by the examiner, information on the anthrax letters and SFPD's destruction of evidence was sent by fax and walked into the downtown office of Attorney General Brown. And the next slide was the response from his office. So I did get a response from Gerald Brown. Wait a minute, where'd it go? What in the world? What in the world? Why are my pictures not showing up? This is interesting. Give me a couple seconds here. Okay, so there's the pictures. Why can't the picture be displayed? What
is it through a link?
World? All right, I'm going to close that down.
Okay.
Open that back up. Oh, this would be the day to have the technical difficulties, wouldn't it? Sorry, you guys. If you want to just chit chat.
Can you hear me on this
PowerPoint back up
microphone?
so I can share screen again.
I can hear you.
I've never
Okay.
seen it do this before, but that was extremely interesting.
I was gonna say, are the pictures on there through a link by chance?
So how about those Niners? Are you
Okay,
still there, Nolan?
They got a lot of injuries.
Hello?
They have lots of
Okay,
injuries.
I think it's
Hello?
You can't. Can you hear
I'm
me?
gonna have to.
Hi, Lindsay. I can hear
Hey,
you.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, it must be on her end then if you can hear me, because I've done tried 2 different microphones and she still couldn't hear me.
No, I can hear you, and she couldn't hear
Okay.
me either. Yeah, I think it's on her end.
Yeah. I was gonna ask her if she has those pictures linked, or she has them on there through a link. You know how you can paste a picture into a document through a link through what?
No, I
whatever.
actually
Oh, there you are.
took a picture of it with my phone
Oh,
and emailed it to myself, put it into the presentation, and we saw it a
okay.
couple weeks ago.
So then it should
I'm
be
going
there.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
want to try it again?
I'm doing that right now. I'm bringing up the presentation back up right now at this point. But that was extremely interesting. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Share slideshow from current slide. Hide presenter view. Okay, can we get that presentation back up there again? There we go. All right. So this is what I was trying to share with you.
There you go.
All right. So I reached out to Edmund G. Brown Jr., Attorney General at the time in Sacramento at the state capitol, and I walked in a package on Jack and the handwriting and everything else, and this. And obviously complaining about the SFPD and their lack of investigation into Jack Tarrance. And this was the response that I received. Dear Ms. Bartow, thank you for your correspondence to the Office of the Attorney General requesting that a crime be investigated and that the alleged perpetrator of the crime be prosecuted. If you have information about a crime, please file a report with the police or sheriff's department in the area where the crime occurred. Local law enforcement authorities are responsible for investigating violations of law within their jurisdictions. After investigating the crime, the local law enforcement authorities may forward the case to the county district attorney's office for prosecution if appropriate. The decision whether or not to file criminal charges will then be made by the locally elected district attorney. We hope this information will be helpful to you. Thank you again for contacting our office. And this was sincerely Melissa Nelson, Public Inquiry Union for Edmund G. Brown Jr., Attorney General.
Yeah.
Is that not hilarious?
So
Yeah,
did they not even read what you sent in?
Obviously not.
I mean,
Also,
what?
I think one of the key points too is there's multiple jurisdictions involved, so therefore the AG would have jurisdiction because there's multiple jurisdictions. Just like in a federal, when there's multiple states involved, then the feds can come in.
Yeah.
But consider the timing of this. So this letter is coming back from them. When did they say I walked it in? Hold on. Let me see when I walked it in.
2000.
No, I didn't. No. 2009. So August. Okay, so August of 2009 is when I walked that evidence in about and complaining about the SFPD not properly handling the case. And their response is May 13 of 2010. And 2010 is when Jerry Brown announced that SFPD was being investigated. Their lab, who handled DNA and drug testing and all of the freaking different things, was corrupt.
Wow.
So what's the timing there? Yeah. I'm like, wait.
They were covering their butts.
Yes, they were. Yeah, because this individual had been the lab tech in 2000, the one that was busted in 2010. So it went back. I'm sure it opened up cases for criminals all the way back to however long that individual had been employed for the SFPD as a lab tech. But I did feel this was an oxymoron that they actually knew. They tell me to file a report with the very same people I'm complaining about. San Francisco Police Department supposedly tested and admittedly compromised the DNA on Jack W. Tarrance Jr. in 2002, and I wanted Attorney General Brown to respond to and investigate because the complaints are said to go back to 2002 of corrupt examiners and examinations.
Wow.
Here's the picture I was looking for, and we're going to have, this is one of the first audio recordings between Dennis and Chris Hopkins, which was the agent that I also worked with for about 3 years and provided, I believe, 4 or 5 reports at this point in different unsolved serial killings and continuous or additional supplemental reports to the handwriting in the Zodiac case. And Chris Hopkins was always very cordial. Dennis had a revolving door at the FBI. He could literally walk in and get Chris's attention anytime he wanted. That's not somebody who law enforcement thinks is crazy and isn't taking serious. So I'm going to go ahead and have Juan play that particular audio file. And it's going to be a little rough, but just listen intensely and you will hear the information that I'm hoping that everybody will understand and see that Chris Hopkins was very much into Dennis on the Zodiac case.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Dennis Coffin here.
Hey, Dennis.
How you doing?
That was a funny message.
I don't know why it popped off in that, but
I got a laugh out of it. I appreciate it.
that's cool. I was hoping you'd like it.
Yeah.
I know if you didn't like it, you'd be mad at me.
No, I thought it was funny. So, how you doing?
Oh, man, I just turning gray-headed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's all.
I know Ken told you. I was pretty disappointed by the whole thing. You know, it's just only because I know we'll get to the right answer. It's just that we had our hopes that, you know, by now we would know.
Right.
So it's just, you know, a timing thing, and that's, you know, I know you share the frustration too, so.
Oh, yeah. I just, you know, I don't know. I talked to Kelly Carroll today just to, you know, I don't even know why I called him, because I had talked to him originally before I even went in there, but, you know, he wanted me to send him the stuff in the mail at first, and, you know, anything on probably wasn't that interested.
Right.
No, that's why I went to you guys. You guys are the ones that listen to me.
Right.
And,
well, how was he? Was he receptive?
oh, yeah, he was very anxious to talk to me now. You know, a lot more than he was at first, of course.
Yeah. Did you tell him that you talked to us and?
Well, he mentioned you guys' name, but yeah, I didn't tell him a whole lot because I don't want to cause anything between you.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, you know, I just, if anything, I was, you know, whatever, you know, I hope you guys are working together on this, get this thing done, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I'm looking at it like this guy's a murderer, you know, he sits out there and, you know, I don't know. You know, I just want the thing to be over with.
Yeah.
You know.
No, absolutely. So how'd you leave it with Kelly?
Well, yeah, I talked to Ken a while ago. I didn't want to, you know, seem like I was going around your guys' back to talk to him.
No, that's all right, man.
But he wanted to get together next week, and I said, okay, well, I have to talk to you guys first. And I talked to Ken, and he said he didn't have no problem with it.
Yeah.
You know, so I left a message after I talked to Ken and said, I guess we could meet next week, you know, for him to call me. He hasn't called me yet because it was after 5 when I left a message, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was left at.
Okay. Well, yeah, I won't be able to be there. I'm going to be out of town next week.
Are you?
That doesn't matter. I mean, if you and Kelly and Ken can all meet.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I don't bring much to the table other than an ugly mug. So.
No, I know. But I just, I just sitting here and I had to do something. I don't know.
You know what? I don't blame you. And I'm glad you did. Because now, you know, maybe we can get things, you know. He and I had total miscommunication.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I think he made misrepresentations. You know, he led me to believe he was going to get right on it, to include your envelope.
I see.
And when I finally got through to him, he says no. And so, you know, whatever. If that's what he wants to say now, that's fine. And I'm, you know, screw it. It's not worth it, you know.
Right, I understand.
But if he now is willing to meet you and, you know, look at all the information you have, that's what we want.
Right.
We want him to get excited about it as we are.
You guys just want to get solved just like I do.
Right. So if that's what it takes, that's fine. You know, he has this feeling that we're trying trying to steal something from. We gave him your name. We gave him your stepdad's name.
Yeah, I know you did because he said that. You know,
And we gave him everything. We didn't give him. Well, you brought us because I sent him down an introductory letter.
right? Yeah, he said that. He confirmed that. Yeah.
So, you know, if this is what it takes, that's fine. We have no heartburn over it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You know, I know. I know you've been totally honest with me. You've been very helpful, man. And I appreciate it. I feel very comfortable about you.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah.
And I do.
I wish Kelly had the same feeling.
Yeah. But well, maybe by talking to him, we can all work this thing out and get this thing done, man.
Right.
You know, that's great.
Absolutely.
And yeah, because this thing's been dragging on for 6 months. It seems like 6 years to me, but it's been a long time.
Right.
You know, so if make some progress, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great. And, you know, he's got the ticket down there for his end of it. Now, you know, he likes to bolster, you know, he was giving me this line of shit about, well, you know, it's going to be a local prosecution and, you know, it's his thing. And I said, well, you know, I didn't get into it with him, but the fact of the matter is he only has one homicide in his jurisdiction.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
The other one, there's more jurisdictions that have more into it than he does.
Sure.
And matter of fact, we do, you know, we are sanctioned by the legislature to work serial murder cases.
Right.
So I mean, I wasn't going to get into a pissy match over turf or jurisdiction. All I want is to do the DNA.
Yeah, just get the job done. Yeah.
Right. And what, you know, it kind of annoyed me. You know, as I told him initially, our laboratory was committed to a 30-day turnaround time.
Right.
So we would have been so much further ahead than where we are now.
Absolutely.
But, you know, everyone, because it's such a high-profile deal, everyone wants to be the one, you know, to say, I was the one who solved this, you know, this was my case, and da-da-da.
Right, and you know, and I don't think there's wrong with saying that, hey, everybody worked together to solve it, and everybody's, you know.
That's right.
You know, what's wrong with that?
And you know, you run into this every now and then with these petty cops.
I'm sure you do.
The real person is you.
Right.
So there wasn't anything that Kelly Keller did to identify this guy as the Zodiac. It was because you had done your homework and you brought it in here.
Right.
So there's really, you know, that's what Ken and I always are laughing about.
Oh,
there's only one guy got credit for this.
That's true. Thanks.
So the fact that, you know, he's not necessarily a sworn police officer at the time, there's only one guy that solved it.
Wow.
Now, the other guys who just happened to be cops at the time and the place that he came to. But there's one guy who gets the credit. And so Kelly can jump up and down all he wants. You know, when the story, you know, is told.
Wow.
Well, he was just sitting on the desk at the time when the phone rang. So.
Right. Well, that's cool. Appreciate it. So you feel that way, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. So, well, I'll meet with him and see if we can.
All right. So that was a very interesting take on the participation of San Francisco PD's detective Kelly Carroll, I believe is his name, and the pushback that Dennis seemed to be receiving. We're going to hear a little bit about that as well. Are you still with us, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh. Any comments?
That was interesting.
I'm just
No,
kind
it's
of
obviously
taking it in.
Yeah, it's obvious that Dennis and that FBI guy had a good rapport, and the guy did not think Dennis was a kook. He thought his issues were legitimate, and he was taking them seriously. And he himself was wondering why there was not enough coordination between the various law enforcement and even within the FBI itself.
And that 30-day turnaround, why didn't they just run the DNA themselves? What was the purpose of pawning that off onto SFPD? Why not develop the profile yourself? Because that's what running the DNA is about, and then provide that profile to SFPD to make the comparison.
Right.
I mean, I think there were a lot of different ways this could have been handled, not to mention we're going to hear an audio file where there's a second letter that's still in possession of the FBI. So why didn't they turn around and send that one? You know, Dennis is saying it's been 6 months since SFPD has received this stuff and nothing has been reported about it. And what's amazing is that he's saying how long it seems, like 6 years of his life. Little did he know at 6 months into the investigation that he would be still at it when he found me in 2009. Like 6 months turned into 9 years. But Chris Hopkins still there with him all the while. every investigative lead that was given to the FBI, Chris Hopkins says they checked out, including going to properties that Jack had owned and lived on, and found cadaver bones. So, or they took a cadaver dog and they found human remains. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened here that is a legit investigation by the FBI that SFPD never even attempted to touch, and we're going to hear about that. With this next clip is going to be Kelly Carroll from the SFPD. We're going to go ahead and play that one.
Homicide, may I help you?
Yeah, Kelly Carroll?
One moment.
Hello? Yeah, Kelly Carroll? Yeah. Yeah, you just paged me? Who's this? Dennis Cochran? Dennis, how are you? Pretty good. Hey, did we talk many months ago? Yes, we did. And lately you've been dealing with Chris Hopkins and his partner? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you left a message in my voicemail. Yeah. What's up? Well, I didn't know if, I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of, they've been keeping me informed, I guess. This situation is just hard on me. I'm just trying to, find out if there's anything I can do to, I don't know. I'm just kind of a shot in the dark. Just thought I would page you, see if, because I talked to you. As a matter of fact, I called you before I even talked to them ever. Right, and I thought you were going to come down here and mail me some stuff. Actually, you're going to mail it, right? Well, I was going to, but it's just too much to mail. I had a whole suitcase full of stuff that gathered. Okay, and who has the suitcase now? I still got it. I mean, I gave them copies of everything I had. You gave them copies of everything? Yeah. And so they're aware of all the particulars. They've actually debriefed you, kind of. Yeah, they have. Okay. So. Well, you know what? All that I have from them is that you have compelling evidence. That's what they told me and wrote me in a letter, and I don't have any of the particulars. So I'm not sure why. When we talked on the phone, you just thought it was your stepdad. Yeah. And why in a nutshell? Give it to me right now, and why I thought that? Yeah, why is it? That's because it answered every question I ever had my whole life, how I was raised. Everything. Why my mom died, I answered everything for me. Yeah. And had my mom have never, the situations around her death have never happened, I would have never. Well, I knew he was capable of murder. I mean, I've seen him. I witnessed it myself. I saw him cut some guy's face at myself when I was little. Okay. I was with him one time when this girl, I don't remember because I was about 5 years old. I was in a car. It was at a mountain somewhere. It was raining. That's all I remember. I remember being woken up by this girl screaming. She was in front of the car. He was behind. He was chasing around the car. Okay. I mean, that was, Sure. I mean, I know I'm not the type of person, man. I know you get a lot of wackos calling you and say, hey, I know who shot you, or whatever it is. I'm not that way, man. Yeah, okay. I believe you. And the reason I'm just curious why you're calling me now versus, I mean, did Hopkins tell you to call me, or? No, they didn't. Man, they don't have no idea I'm calling you. I understand there might be some conflict going on about, who does what or whatever. I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean, some, people aren't working together type of thing, Who said that? Well, it's just the impression that I've gotten. Oh, from who? Well, it's from different places. I mean, I don't want to, Chris and Ken have been real good to me, but they've been very helpful, as far as I know, But, I'm just sitting here, and it's like my family is tearing me apart, I know who he is, and there's, he's out there carrying a gun, man. My little brother's out there with him, and it's just a dangerous situation. Okay. And this thing needs to be done. What needs to be done? I mean, if it's going to happen, it needs to happen. If not, well, what do you imagine happening? Well, I mean, hopefully they're going to arrest him pretty soon. Chris and his partner? Or whoever. It doesn't matter to me who arrests him. Now, I'm going to ask you a real pointed question. When you say there's conflict about who does what, where do you get this from? From Chris and his partner? No. Where do you get it? It's just that, well, they didn't directly say it. I'm just saying that they supposedly sent a letter to be tested, and it hasn't happened yet or something. Okay. I don't, I mean, it's just, if there's anything I can do to, I'm just a nobody, really. I mean, I don't have. No, you're somebody in my book, absolutely. Okay, well, I appreciate that, but I'm just saying, it's just, this guy's a murderer, man. Yeah. Now, do you have concerns police or expressed this to Special Agent Hopkins, the FBI? Yeah, a little bit. You know, I don't know who to talk to, man. You know, I'm trying not to say nothing to anybody because, you know, I don't want, you know, I don't know. It's just been hard. I don't know who to talk to or what to do, really. You know, just sitting here waiting. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I have no conflict. I'm getting the real idea that somehow Hopkins and his partner talked to you in the last few days and indicated there was some conflict, or people weren't doing what they're supposed to do, or there was some conflict over who's supposed to do what. Okay? So, but there is none, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Well, because I'm investigating the case. Okay, good. It's my job to do. Now, you've given a bunch of information to the FBI. Right. They haven't given that information to me. Okay? Okay. If you'd like to provide it to me, I'd be glad to take it from you. Can I help you out? Well, sure it would. Now, why don't we do this? You're up in Sacramento? Uh-huh. Okay. Why don't you touch base with me next week sometime? Okay. And see if we can figure out a way and a time to get this information from you. No problem. If that would expedite things, I'd be glad to help you. Okay. And, you know, now as far as any immediate fears you have for your brother and his safety, or anybody's safety up there in Sacramento, please call the local sheriff or police department and or tell the FBI. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're out of state, so. Oh. Yeah. Well, even better then. Tell the FBI because they're a national agency. Okay.
All right. So that's where we have Kelly Carroll actively stating that he had not received anything. And of course, we hear Chris Hopkins saying that he has not only sent this information, but he has spoken to Kelly Carroll about it. So here's that pissing contest that's going on. And go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying, oh, wow.
Well, the one thing I take from that audio file is the mention of Dennis talking about being young in the car, up in the woods, in the rain. And when he elaborated on the story at a later point, he talked about seeing Jack, waking up and seeing Jack chasing a female around the vehicle. The interesting part of that to me is that in 2010, after I released the findings on Jack's handwriting, and Deborah Perez came out as a false suspect with Bart Baggett and one of the Bailey comrades that was a district attorney, and they stood on the steps of the Chronicle. She told the exact same story.
Okay, so this is what I was going to tell you. When I just heard that, Dennis's story, it literally brought me back to that documentary that they did on Arthur Lee Allen. And in that documentary, there was like a visual that they did of him running around the car, chasing a woman, literally the same description. That's literally what my brain went to. And I was like, what the F? And
Dennis was the first person to say this in 2000. So this is all circa 2000, these law enforcement files or the audio files. So yeah, I take huge note to that kind of stuff. Let me get one more in real quick on Ken Hittmeyer and having an additional letter of Jack's.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? You kid? Speaking. Dennis Coffin here. Hello, Dennis. What's going on? Well, I don't know. Nothing's changed since I talked to you the last time. Yeah? The guy needed to talk to Chris. I haven't seen him. I had to go to a hearing that just finished. It was an unrelated matter. But I just got out of court just a few minutes ago. Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Chris today. Okay. I would say just going back. Well, no, I'm not going to. You know, in the beginning, before I even called you guys, I talked to a man named Kelly Carroll in San Francisco at the very beginning. No, that's the guy, the detective. Yeah, he's the one that handled the case in San Francisco. Okay, well, now, I've got someone else I know that kind of has inside information. They told me that San Francisco was never doing no tests. So I said, well, hell, I'm going to call Kelly myself and just see what's up. He said he had no, I mean, I didn't say one, I talked only good about you guys. He asked me, I told him, I said, I heard, you know, I don't know what's going on, but this case is hard on me. I explained to the situation. I said, I got to know. I don't care who does it. I don't care. I'm not even into who gets credit for it. I can care less. Right. But the thing is, I just want it to get done because he's a murderer and he needs to be caught. Right. And he said, I said, you know, I just basically said, is there some complications. I said, I just heard from around that, different agencies are working together. He says he never heard of one thing. And he said he never got no letter to be tested or anything like that. And he specifically asked me, he said he didn't get anything from you guys except for, a letter that said that I had compelling evidence. That's all he said.
Well, we sent him the letter one of the letters that you sent also. As someone that's not part of law enforcement, he might be unwilling to tell you just what he has or what he doesn't have. Because, he doesn't know who you are and what...
Well, he knew exactly who I was.
Well, okay, but I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand why he said he would never we never sent a letter to you because we did. Or sent a letter to him because we did.
No. Well, he said he wants me to meet with him down there to see what I have now. I don't want to go. I'm not trying to go behind anybody's cause. I would just like to see this thing get done.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, he's the guy we have to deal with, Dennis. If you can make a compelling argument to him that you've got a pretty viable case, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, here again, I don't really care either who gets this thing pushed. But if you think that it's worth your while to sit down and talk to him, I mean, if you can say, well, that letter those guys sent you, if you can run it in a test. Did you call him or did he call you or?
I just did. Yesterday, out of the blue, I just paged him. I says, my name is Dennis Tom.
Oh, okay.
If you have any questions, call me. And I didn't say one thing about Zodiac and that. And I figured if he knew who I was, he'd call me back.
Well, your name's on the letter. Your name's on the address on the letter.
Right. Well, I know. That's just the way I can find out. I have to find out information like that because no one really wants to tell me what's going on because they think I don't know what they think. I just figure I have a right to know. I mean, lately maybe I don't, but I feel I do.
Dennis, that's the guy that we've sent our material to. And if you'd like to speak to him in person and make your pitch directly to him, I've got no problem with that.
You don't? Okay, that's what I'm checking with you because, as far as I know, you guys have treated me good. And
we're not hiding anything. We're not trying to kind of squeeze you out of things. I mean, if you think you can convince him of what you've got, then I'm all for it. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to make sure because he's definitely willing. He's more than anxious to talk to me.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, that might be a good sign.
And it sounds like he would be able to get things done. So, if it wouldn't, interrupt anything you guys got going on, if it expedites things,
Well, Dennis, what we've got going on is asking him to see if they can get a profile of those old letters, see if that profile matches the DNA that's on the letters you sent us. We sent him one letter, and I still have one that you gave me.
Okay.
And if you can go there and say, hey, just show them the picture, show them the other things you showed us.
Okay.
If you can convince them to really push that, go for it, man.
Okay. And I talked to a professional handwriting expert too that used to work for the Department of Justice.
All right.
Okay, real quick. So that was South Lake Tahoe, please?
No, that was Ken Hittmeyer, the agent that is a partner to Chris Hawkins.
Okay. All right.
So you heard him say we sent some letters to the SFPD to be tested, and we still have one. So at what point, when SFPD was dragging their feet, did they hesitate and not test that other letter that they have?
It sounds like they're barking up the wrong tree anyway. Because if there's evidence that he's pulling the DNA, they're not going to get a clean test.
We didn't know that at that time. At that time, Dennis had submitted it. It's been more than 6 months. SFPD is tossing the ball at the FBI, saying they never sent me anything. The FBI is saying we most definitely sent them Jack's letters for DNA testing. And they also stated they have a turnaround of 30 days, and they have additional letters. So the bottom line is, it's like, who's got the ball? Who's got the ball? Now, Ken Hittmeyer doesn't sound as cordial, obviously, as Chris Hawkins, and Ken Hittmeyer was not there when I entered into the case in 2009. I only ever dealt with Chris Hawkins. So I just thought that was interesting to note that you've got two agents saying they sent the information to SFPD, SFPD denying that they had received it. Now, they may not be able to give Dennis answers, but they could certainly say, yes, we received that from the FBI.
Correct. Yeah.
Why couldn't the FBI analyze it?
Well, they could. Chris Hopkins said that they could do a turnaround in 30 days. So this is my question. If they have more letters from Jack, why didn't they continue to do it aside from what SFPD was supposedly doing? It just makes no sense.
They'd have both tested.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
both.
We are down to our final seconds here, but I would love to come back, comment on this more, and we have additional law enforcement audios we'll listen to next week. You guys, thank you for being here and all your support. Everybody take care, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Peace.
Yes,
Thank
girl.
you.
And those are crucial. I'm so glad you have them. So I'm excited for the next one.
Oh, real quick. They removed them from the internet, guys. I'm going to leave everybody with
imagine that.
You cannot go to these links anymore and find them on the internet. So everybody, what you're seeing up here as a link does not exist. Take care.
Wow.
See you guys next Friday.
See ya.
Bye.